Hi guys, and I thought I'd start off with a quick lens review, and we're going for the cheap lenses this time. And this is a Topmax 420 to 800mm. They sell for around about £90 to £100, and whatever that works out into dollars, I don't know. And they are basically an old school telescope with focusing. There's no aperture control. Your equivalent aperture is just down to the length of the tube. So basically, the longer you make the tube, your lens stops down. So it's from 420 is 8, so that's 420mm. f8.3, and then as you extend it right to 800mm or thereabouts, is f16. So you need some light. Or utilise your ISO capability. With it, it comes as an M42 fitment, so an old school screw on. So I've got sorry, not an M42, I'm completely wrong there, sorry. It's a T2 adaptation, so I've got one here, a T2 to Sony E-mount. You can get a T2 to Nikon and Canon as well, and Fuji. They're all on eBay. They're about, I think, anywhere between £5 and £10, something like that. This one I kind of modified because I got it from a friend. He tried it on his Nikon and he struggled. With the Sony systems and the Fuji, you've got focus peaking, which makes life a lot easier when trying to focus, because you're looking for an EVF, and it basically picks out bits what they're in focus and shows you in colours and lines and things, so it makes life a lot easier trying to focus a manual focus lens, plus focus magnification, which I use a lot, which is really good. This thing in good light is actually not too bad. There is quite a bit of flare sometimes in bright conditions, especially if you're shooting towards the sun a bit. But actually I have got a few quite good shots, which for a bit of fun it does work. I'm just going to give this to my friend Neil, who's just bought a Fuji. I'm not sure which model it is, I can't remember, but he's going to have a play with it and see and see where it goes. But it's just a bit of fun, really. I found it is quite easy, but what I've found with the focusing is literally it's a tiny movement, especially at 800mm. It's the smallest little movement. It's in and out. The main benefit of sticking it on the A7R2, which is really quite funny, is where's the dot? There it is. It's how silly it looks. You know, the A7R2 is a small camera, and it makes this look silly. It's just so thin. You know, you look at your bigger, I mean, for example, that's the 35mm f1.4. Look at the diameter with the 150 to 600mm from Sigma, or the 50 to 500, for example, from Sigma as well. You can't compare them. But for a bit of fun, and you can get okay shots of the moon and things with this, but it's cheap at the end of the day. I've actually stuck a Hoya. I had a random Hoya. It was an MC protector, the old UV protector, and it's actually cut down the flare a little bit, and you know, so that helps keeps the images a bit better, because I don't think there's much coating on the glass, considering it's one piece of glass there and a piece of glass here. It's that simple. You know, I also bonded the tripod mount to the actual lens housing itself, because it's made of plastic. So it had a little bit of flex in it, so I bonded it to it, added a carbon fibre wrap to it just to make it look interesting, and that was that, really. But like I say, my friend Neil's going to have this and have a play with it, see what he can do. Yeah, I should put some pictures at the end of this just to show you. It's okay. I mean, I bought it second hand from another friend who's another photographer. He wasn't getting on with it, but it still gets okay sharp images if you persevere with it. And actually, to be honest, it makes you work for the images. So in some respects, it's actually quite good. You know, if you take this out for the day, and just have a mess around. It's the same with the old manual focus lenses. You know, some of the old Minolta ones, or even the Nikon ones, or the Canon ones you can get, they're all manual focus. It makes you work for the photos. So it's not a bad thing. Keeps you in practice. It's so easy now with autofocus. It's done, and you've got the shot. You know, and it's actually quite nice to actually think about your photos a bit more before you take them. I use the Samyang 135 f2 lens for portraiture a lot, and that's fully manual, and it's slowed us down, which is really, really good, I think, because it's made the photos just work. You know, you can see a bit more emotion, you can see, you know, the shots are, you know, you actually spend a little bit more time. It sounds silly because, you know, your camera will focus in less than half a second, but it might take me now one second or 2 seconds to get it absolutely sharp. So that's only a second and a half maybe, but it's enough time to make the whole situation feel a little bit slower. So for portraiture and stuff like that on that lens, I've you know, it's lovely. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you really. It's yeah, it's cheap, cheerful. They're on eBay. There's a few different names. It's made in China, and it fits pretty much every camera out there with the adapters. So it's a T-mount, a T2 adapter, and yeah, apparently it is 4 elements in 2 groups. So yeah, I'd imagine that's the 2 groups. I imagine it's 2 lenses up here and 2 lenses up there, so it's 4. It is push and pull, so you unscrew, that's a lock ring, so you unlock ring there, and you just pull backwards and forwards, and then you just tighten up when you want to lock it in place, so you can keep it at 800 or whatever. Yeah, it says exposure. Automatic exposure is possible in aperture priority mode. Only cameras with TTL metering systems. Other cameras must be set in full manual. So yeah, I mean, it's not autofocus compatible. Its minimal focus, just out of interest, is 1.6 meters. That's 5.25 feet from the lens element, which is, I think, that one. Yeah, so that's it. So the minimum is there, 1.6 meters from that at 800mm. So it's all right. I have taken a few shots with this in studio conditions and just out looking at chimney pots and things like that. So I'll put them at the end of the video, and you can make your own mind up. It weighs 520 grams. It has a carrying case, high quality. It's not leather, and it comes in a box like this. It's called the Platinum Series High Definition, designed in Japan but made in China. Yeah, so the 420 to 800mm f8.3 to f16 Topmax lens. There is a couple of other makes, like I said, yeah, so around about 90 quid, bit of fun. Personally, I would buy it second hand if you can, just for a bit of fun. It's a case of put it on, have a play, and see what you can get. But that's it for now, guys. There'll be another video very soon. Hi guys, so this is now on to the image side of things. So I started off with a £2 coin. It's just last night, just messing around, and it's quite difficult to actually to get it in focus. There you can see a bit of flare, and it just doesn't really like it all that amount. I still need to clean my sensors, a little bit of dirt up there, but you know, for the cheapness and how simple that lens is, with a little bit of messing around, you can make it look relatively good with a bit of help from Photoshop. You can make it look not too bad in some respects. You know, it is difficult. There we go. So that's at 800mm, and it was in studio lights, but you can see a little bit of fringing and things like that. So it's okay. I mean, the closer you get, I mean that's zoomed in quite heavily. But you can still see the scratches details there. You can even see the sharp on that hair there. It's just getting see all the. Yeah, it's just. It is a bit limited, should we say the least. But you sit back and look at it that big, it's not too bad at all. The actual the top of the bottle there, I just sat a coin in, looks pretty good. It's just, I mean, if you turn it to black and white maybe, let's do a little bit of messing around with black and white. It probably looks better. I mean, it probably gets away with a bit more. Turn the clarity up a bit more to make it a little bit more interesting. You know, you can get away with using it and making some, get a bit creative with it. It's not all about how sharp things are at the end of the day. Yes, we're used to that now and how amazing some of the lenses are, but I think still, these cheap lenses still have their place where you can actually have a bit of fun, and still create stuff that you probably couldn't do unless you spent a few thousand on a similar lens that's actually, designed for the job properly. But as you look at that, it doesn't look too bad. So it looks better definitely in black and white than it does in colour. There's this shot here as well when it opens. There you go. I'd already tweaked this very slightly. Doesn't look too bad. It's soft up here though, soft on the edges. You can see. I mean that's f16 equivalent at 800mm. So, but you actually look at the S's and the C. I've sharpened it very slightly, only with a bit of clarity though. I messed around with it very slightly. It doesn't actually look too bad. So if you get it right, I mean, it's a case of, trying to. You can even see the transfer part of where they, the printing thing of the bottle. It's not too bad. It isn't too bad, but as you can see there, it softens off heavily. On the edge, on the start of the edges, which you kind of expect from a cheap lens. What else have we got? This one, not too bad actually. So this one here is a Santa hat. Actually, doesn't look too bad. It's the details there, relatively sharp on the hair and everything. Not too bad with that. It's just so at 800mm, there's such a small amount of focus movement needed in the actual lens itself to get it in and out of focus. It actually makes it quite difficult to get it in focus. So that's not too bad. I was quite impressed with that. Right, so onto the ones I took today. So I shot out the window at some chimneys and stuff, and I got a shot. Which one was it? Right. I took 2, 4, 6, 8 shots here. I won't bore you with all of them because they're just duplicates. Here's one. So this is the third attempt. So at the time I didn't have it on the A7R2 and on the other bodies that are stabilised on the Sonys. You can actually set your stabilisation on the sensor to match certain focal lengths. So I actually set it manually to 800mm, and I've actually shown you here. I've got a few spots of dirt on the sensor I need to deal with. So this shot here was. You can see there it's very difficult to get it right. Doesn't look too bad there. It is what it is. You can add the sharpening, you can tweak it and stuff like that. But like I say, I think this is just basically it's a fun mess around lens that you can have a laugh with. But I would definitely think about buying it second hand for a few quid rather than 90, because that's an expensive. It is an expensive day out as such for. So let's have a look at that one there. Yeah, so to get some okay shots. So lack of light, I was actually shooting relatively high. This is handheld as well. The way, because there's no circular aperture blades or anything like that, there's no aperture as such. The bokeh in the background is a bit interesting, but you can see it adds. It's almost like a haze To be honest, I was struggling to get this in focus, but as you can see, it's, you know, the detail. If you get it right, you know, you can see all the spots and the marks in there, on that line, but you can't see the detail where a high-end lens would still be very sharp. You know, we are in probably 67% magnification. So if we go back to 25%, you can see there there's a lot of what do you call it, aberrations, the purple aberrations there you can see, but I mean that's easily fixed, it's not really a problem there. You just click that and off it goes. Obviously you can do it manually by taking this, the purple seems to be dominant there. But yeah, I mean, if you were to print that relatively small, you probably wouldn't notice if you even print it. But it's a case of, like I say, a bit of a fun lens. No point, you know, denying that it's amazing. But I have actually got a couple of shots when you just get it right, it's sharper than you think. So you know, it is what it is. So back to this one. This is another shot I took. So I can actually get it sharp. I was trying to focus on here, and to be honest, it's not far off. It's that screw head. You know, but you can see it's just very difficult to get it absolutely perfect, and it's a very small lens, letting a lot less light in at 800mm than it is at 420. So you know, like I say, it's a bit of fun. If you can spot one on eBay for 30 quid, maybe buy it and have a bit of fun. But I don't think I'd recommend spending £100 on one. It's you know, you could spend that £100 on something much better. You know, maybe a 2x converter or something on an autofocus lens you've got. So you know, but like I say, it's good fun, and I just thought I'd do a test for everyone rather than you go out there and buy one and think, oh yes, that's amazing, and some people fall in the trap of the high definition thing and all that. It's just a gimmick. But let's say the light's diminishing now. It's getting dark, so that's why I was shooting a higher shutter speed and actually underexposing the shot slightly, just to handheld it and try and keep it sharp. But like I say, you can see here, you know, there's a little bit of detail. I mean, you can see the detail, but you know, you can make your own decision on that. It's yeah, not quite good enough, shall we say. But I did actually take, so if I open it up, with the RX10 Mark IV, the same shot. So this is a 20, so we're looking at, so if I actually open the same one, so I'll take, no, so okay, so if I pick that shot there, which is the RX10 Mark IV, this is straight out of the camera, not touched, at 600mm, at f4. So just going to open it and then find the other shot. It's that one probably. There we go. So if we zoom in just to see the difference, considering you've got more than double the resolution on this left hand shot here. There you go, big difference. It's a long way away, but you can see more the fact that if you look at that screw there, the details there, and this is, I mean, this is 20 megapixel sensor. Just the sharper lines, the sharper parts of the image there as well. Let me go a little bit closer actually. Like that. You know, ignore the, well, actually the colour is probably the same, but obviously that lens is different and doesn't you know, allow the colour to be you know, captured properly anyway, so it's probably slightly different. But you can just see there's a haze, it's almost like a haze all the time. Even on the grill there, it's just a different world, and that is half the resolution. And I'm zoomed in a lot, 158% on that, and this shot here is 78%. So we're more than double, basically double. There's more detail in the lower megapixel image than there is in the higher megapixel image. So that's absolutely crazy. So it just shows you, and that's at the limit now. It's starting to pixelate. And this isn't anywhere near. You can see, the difference there just doesn't hold up. So from an all-in-one 600mm lens, so not even as zoomed in as the same amount, I've come in much as close, and got the similar image. And it's the difference between that and that. So there you go. But yeah, so that's really. I just thought I'd show everyone just so you can kind of make your own ideas up and minds. And if it's any benefit to you, that I wouldn't bother spending the money really, unless, like I say, unless it's a second-hand one. It's a 20 or 30 quid. Absolutely fine. Have a bit of fun with it. These are just quick tests. I have got a couple of banging shots with it, but it will make you work for the images, and it's not a bad thing. But anyway, that's it for now, guys.